there's no other juicer that I own that I use as much as the Nama. I use the Nama J2 90% of the time in my home simply because it is quick and easy, and I could juice, bulk amounts of juice. Actually, just yesterday at your house, Paul, I juiced like literally 5 quarts of juice in the morning so I could drink fresh juice on my trip. That's how committed I am to using the Nama, and I was so glad. I walked in your house, I'm so glad you have the Nama.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Raw Life Health Show, and I am so excited about today's video. This is a new juicer that I have, the Nama Juicer. It's the J2 juicer. It is wonderful. And in this video, my friend John Kohler, who's a juicing expert, and he sells juices for many, many years. I'm good friends with him. Came out to my house here, and he was so excited that I got this juicer, and he's going to interview me about the 5 great things I like about this juicer compared to the previous juicer that I've been using and loved for so long, the GreenStar Juicer. So in this video, he's going to be with John interviewing me for his channel about this juicer, the Nama Juicer versus that one. Now, I'm really excited too because I love this juicer so much. I've become an affiliate with Nama, the juicers, and I just love their business plan and their juicer and everything about them. So they've offered me a coupon code for you if you want to get this juicer. You're going to see now and in other videos why I recommend this juicer for everyone. I think it's excellent, and I'm going to show you the video here with John. I do want to say also, if you use that coupon code, not only do you get a 10% discount, but since I am an affiliate with them, they give me a small commission so I can continue to make videos like this and get videos out and do things like this. So it's a win-win for everyone. And I am just thrilled about this juicer. Here you see it's full right now because my wife had just made me a juice in this. And I couldn't even wait till I started the video to drink it. It was that good. So check out, here's the video I did with John Kohler here about why I like this new juicer versus the old juicer, the GreenStar juicer that I've been using for a long time. Check it out.
So in this video, Paul is going to share with you guys the 5 reasons why he loves the Nama more than the Tribest GreenStar Pro. Let's listen to Paul on why he loves the Nama J2. So the first question I have for you, Paul, is why did you get into juicing, and why should everybody out there watching this video get into juicing if they're not juicing already?
Well, when I was 19 years old, I got diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, which is an illness of the colon. And I didn't know much about digestion. I was into actually a bodybuilding diet, eating a lot of protein, and I thought I was eating healthy because I was into fitness, but not really health. But I found out about a vegan diet, and I found out about eating healthy, and I interviewed people that were eating healthy. And ultimately, I came to the conclusion the foods that are going to give our body the most nutrients while using the least amount of work to get those nutrients are the ideal foods for our body. And that's why I started eating a raw food diet. But even then, it still takes work for the body to get the nutrients. And juicing is the easiest way to get the most nutrients while using the least amount of work. Because a lot of people focus on nutrition, which is important, but you can get nutrients from anywhere. But to me, one of the key factors that people don't consider is how much does your body have to work to get those nutrients. And that's why I eat the way I eat, and that's why I love juicing, because it gives my body those nutrients without making it work so hard to get them.
Wonderful. Yeah, and the reason why it makes it so easy to get those nutrients is because the juicer basically breaks open the cell walls and releases the nutrients while removing some of the fiber. Yes, it keeps the soluble fiber that ends up in the juice that comes out this side of the juicer, but on this side of the juicer, you're going to get the insoluble fiber, the part that makes it harder for our bodies to digest. We're not cows. We can't digest carrots and grass. But when you run carrots or grass literally through the Nama J2, and yes, I have a video juicing a whole flat of wheatgrass in the Nama J2, link down below to that video. Now the juicer does all the work, all the hard chewing that most people don't chew anymore. They take 2 chews and swallow. You're not going to get good digestion, guys, when you're taking 2 chews and swallow. Let the juicer do all the chewing for you, release the nutrients, get rid of the excess fiber, and drink that juice, and it'll get absorbed into your bloodstream. Some say within 15 to 20 minutes, which is quite amazing. And studies have shown that you can get increased levels of different kinds of beta-carotenes and other vitamins in your bloodstream fairly quickly after juicing and raise those levels up super high. That's why it's quite a popular regime with people like on the Gerson therapy For example, juicing lots of carrots to increase the beta carotene content in the blood, which has been correlated with like maybe, you know, staying healthy and being disease free. All right, Paul. So since you've been doing this for a long time for your health specifically, tell everybody what you're juicing. Are you juicing like fruit juices and making fruit juices because fruit juices will cleanse your colon and all these things, or what kind of juice do you make and why?
For me, it's easy to eat fruit.
Yeah.
For me, it's the greens. I want to juice my greens because there's three ways I get my greens in my diet. There's juicing, there's blending, and there's eating them whole. And I try to do one of those three things every day to get my greens. Now, I think you need to do a variety of all three of those things, but juicing, I mean, your body's the world's greatest juicer.
Yep.
Ultimately, your teeth and your saliva should juice it or blend it. It's actually a blender, it's not a juicer.
Yeah.
And then your body will hopefully separate it the way it should. But the greens, the juicing, the fruits to sweeten it up, maybe an apple or a carrot, but it's all about the greens. And it's trying to get those nutrients and those minerals from those greens. That, if I want to take a break from salads or blended foods, I'll do the juicing. But I love to have juice. And also, I have a particular eating schedule. So I don't like to eat all day long. So when I'm not eating, the juice doesn't count in that. I can juice, and that helps me. So it satisfies me, and I get those greens in my diet. The greens are such an important part of being successful, I believe, being a vegetarian and vegan.
Wonderful. Yeah. So like a few things came up there I want to mention, you know. So basically if you're doing some kind of intermittent fasting, right, you could do that and you could do juice instead of water, you know, and you may be able to still maintain your fasting status if that is important to you. So like basically you're letting your body rest from eating. Now the other point that I would definitely agree upon is that you want to get more greens in your diet. And to me also, juicing for basically about as long as Paul as well, one of the primary things I juice is greens and other vegetables. Like Paul, I agree that we should not necessarily be juicing fruits because they're so easy to eat, or they're wonderful to blend in a vacuum blender to make a smoothie. So my preference is to not juice them. If you want to learn more about my thoughts on juicing fruits, link down below that video where I go into it in detail. And like Paul, I get greens in every day, and I just don't do one of them. I always juice greens pretty much if I'm not traveling every single day, drink green juice as well as eat green salads, and also I will blend my greens up as well. They are that important. All right, Paul, so any other final comments you'd like to share about just juicing overall and your experience juicing?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of just straight up fruit juice. I think it's too much sugar too quickly in the system. So I do like, if I ever do have straight fruit juice, I like to dilute it with water. So if I had an orange juice, let's say, I would dilute it half orange, half water or something like that. But that's very seldom I'll do just fruit juice. It's always greens. Celery is wonderful as well, you know, just to flavor the juice up sometimes. If there's a really heavy green in there, I might put some apple or carrot. And my ultimate, I do a lot of sprouts too. So sprouting getting the juice from those sprouts is the living juice, the best way you can get it. So that's important. But no, let's get into these juices because I had a big transition in the different juices I've used over the years. The first juicer I ever used, my brother told me about, who's not into health at all, a long time ago, was the Juice Man Jr.
The Juice Man Jr. I had the Juice Man 2 as my first major juicer as an adult.
Yeah, I had the Juice Man, and then I went to, I forget the name of it, but it's still out there now. It's the gray one, the high-speed one.
The Breville?
The Breville, yeah. So I used the Breville for a while. And again, you say it's terrible, but for somebody that's new to
that
this,
never did it before, it's better than nothing.
Exactly, and I used to use that outside in my yard, and it's
my
okay.
gosh.
It's not bad. So, and I traveled with that, but back then they didn't have a lot of these different.
Exactly, they didn't have the new technology that they have now.
You know, and even today, if my brother got into it and he didn't want to use these and spend a lot of money.
If he got a Breville, that'd be great. Yeah. Way better than what he's doing now.
Yeah. So then I got into the GreenStar, the white GreenStar, GreenStar 1000.
Oh, the 1000, the old school. Wow.
Loved it. Used it for years. I loved it for every reason in your videos. You say it's great. The high quality of the juice, the more juice you get out of it, and everything. I loved it. So it was a couple of years ago where this one came out. I've tried the Elite and all the other ones over the years, but I didn't get them. I didn't see the need to, because the 1000 was great.
Yep.
And I didn't even see the need to get rid of the 1000 because it did everything I needed. But the plastic was starting to crack a little and so on. But I've had it a long time. And then I got this GreenStar Pro, and we're not going to get too much into it, but I absolutely love it. Loved it, and it's great. It did everything the 1-star did, and it's just a solid machine. It's a tank, and it's wonderful. And so I was using it for a long time, and watching your videos, and there's always videos over the years. Somebody actually gave me an Omega, the single gear Omega, and I know it might be a little easier to use, and it was a little easier, but the quality just wasn't as good. But it was lighter, it was smaller, it was nice. But I've just always used this and loved it. I never had an issue with the cleaning. I never had an issue with using it at all. Then I got married.
You got married.
My time was a little bit more focused in different areas, so I didn't have as much time to get things done. And my wonderful wife said she would start juicing for me more to help me with my time situation, and it was great and wonderful. But I'm not a big fan when people say cleaning a juicer is an issue, because
you would just do it.
Cleaning a juicer, I mean, if one juicer might take 5 minutes and one might take 10 minutes, so it's 5 minutes you're talking, but it seems like a lot, but it's really not a lot. So I never really had an issue with cleaning and stuff, but I always had time and I didn't think much about it. But when my wife started using this, she wasn't a big fan of cleaning it. She wasn't a big fan, so, then sometimes I would clean it, and it was it began to be time consuming just to make a juice and get everything through it and clean it and so on. It was okay, but this came out. And your juices that you've used over the years that you said you liked better because they were more convenient, but the juice wasn't as good and so on. I have a friend, Dr. Fred Bishy, who's 93 years old, and he'd been telling me about this one since he got it. He said,
I sold it to Fred.
Yeah,
I talked to him.
It's a whole new ball game, and so I was skeptical about the price, even though this one was so much more. I was still like, I got a good juicer. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on another juicer that I don't need. But to be honest, I heard great things about it, but I did it for my wife. I got the juicer to make it easier for her to juice for both of us. Basically, she had seen this, how easy it was to use, and we have a baby, so she could just put the stuff in here and walk away and do the stuff and everything else. So, make a long story short, I got it, and we both absolutely love it. I'm so impressed with it for so many reasons. And this, I mean, I'd have a hard time using this now. Just because I love this one so much, and I got some reasons why I like it so much. First of all,
well, before you go into the reasons, Paul, is since you've been using this for so long, you know the quality of the juice, and you know how much juice yield you got. Now you're using this, and the yield went down, and the quality went down. So, can put into words, because everybody always asks me, how much more nutrition are you losing? This, and like I haven't seen the data, so I can't tell them. But what would you put into words? Would you say it tastes almost the same, not quite as strong, tastes weaker, tastes more watery? What would you tell everybody?
Well, in terms of the actual wasting of the food, I actually use the fiber for other things.
So you actually dehydrate it, so you're not wasting any food anyways.
Yeah, but and so the pulp is a little bit more wet than it is in this. You notice. As for the taste of juice, it's all about what you make. Because I made juice in this that tasted just as good as this, because it was the juice that I was always used to making. But my wife has made more juice in this, and a little of her own different quantities of different things, so it tastes a little bit different. But it's not because of the juicer; it's just because
the recipe changed.
If I put the same thing in here and here, it's going to taste the same. I've always, whether I use this one or this one, I always use an external strainer. I personally, I'm juicing. I'm not blending. I want to get rid of all that extra fiber, so I've always used in this one and this one. I've used an extra strainer after I juiced. And like you sometimes say, and I found out, if you use like softer apples, you're going to have more fiber left over. If you use firm apples, you'll have less. But I've always used it. But yeah, I definitely noticed the quality of the juice. I don't want to say the quality. This is supposed to have some magnets in there that can make it last long, but I always drink my juice right away for the most part. I know you like to save some of your juices. So yeah, how about the magnets in there? Are the magnets?
No, there's absolutely no. So yeah, this has a better grinding apparatus in there. It also has far infrared and magnets to basically pull out more minerals, which has been shown in studies compared to other juicers, but not this style machine. So yeah, I mean, I believe with my whole heart that this machine does make higher quality juice, might taste stronger, it's gonna be a little more deeper and rich in color, because this machine doesn't grind quite as well or as too small of a particle size.
Well, I want to say, but this isn't like a high speed juicer. This does a great job
Of course.
in juicing, and this is they're both high quality. And
They're both low-speed juicers,
Low
which is a
speed.
low-speed cold-press juicers, correct?
yeah, but for lifestyle, I think more people are going to be satisfied with this one, with the Nama, because it's just the way the life is now, moving fast and just being able to put the food in there, walk away. It's better for my situation with my family, with my wife, my children, and so, you know, I would use this, I guess, if as a backup maybe. But yeah, I'm with the Nama. I like it for all the reasons we're going to talk about here today. And you know, whatever you decide to do, juice, because
It'll change your life.
In my health walk, there's some things I can't do without. And for me, I'm a fitness buff. I love to exercise. I don't feel good when I don't exercise. I love to get the right amount of sleep. I don't feel good if I get the right amount of sleep. But for me, juicing as well. I feel like I'm missing something if I don't juice. And I don't juice sporadically. I try to get juice every day, and I feel a difference if I don't. And you were talking earlier about the fasting and having your window times of eating. That's what I do, and the juice is what helps me do that. So it's so important to juice, and so yeah, I'm really excited about this, and we'll talk about it now.
All right, cool. So one last question, Paul, because this is something really coming up a lot online these days. Would you rather have somebody juice every single day like you do and like I do, or would you rather have somebody go on a juice fast for 40 days, juice for 40 days, and then just try to eat healthy, and then they'd probably end up failing and going back to their regular diet? What's going to be better for the long-term success of people and meeting their health goals and weight goals and other things like that?
Well, you said their health goals, so I don't think it's a healthy thing to go on like a crash diet just to lose weight. But if that's somebody's goal, juicing long-term be the way to do it. But I'm not a big fan of 90-day juice fast and all that stuff. I think juicing every day, and just even with eating, you know, like I said, I'm not into like extremes. And even though I'm 100% raw, I have my own reasons for doing it. But you don't have to be 100% raw. So basically, you don't need to juice 90 days to get the benefit of juicing. I definitely think it's better to get juice in every single day as part of your diet, not your only diet.
Absolutely, yeah. So I call this perpetual juice cleanse, where you're drinking a little bit of juice every single day consistently, because as like your first meal, like Paul does, to extend your fasting window so that your body has an easier time to digest and gives time for your body to heal, and more importantly, flood your body with those nutrients. All right, Paul, so let's get into the 5 reasons why you love the Nama J2 more than the GreenStar Pro these days. What's reason number 1?
Overall, it's about time consuming, and it's much easier to use, because this, you got to stand near the juicer. And it's not, when I say that, I don't mean this is hard. It's just easier. So if you like this, it's great and you can do it, but this is less time consuming. And for me, that's important, because I could be doing other things while I just put this stuff in here. I could be preparing something else. Other things in the kitchen and so on. So it's easier to use in terms of time consuming or less time consuming, and that's really important.
Yeah, no, I would agree too. Like, you know, easier to use. Like, you know, I've sold the GreenStar Pro to older senior people that maybe don't have the most strength, and they're trying to juice carrots in here. You literally got to push the carrot with all your strength into the juicer to get it to go into the gears so they grind up. To me, that's a little more, you know, challenging to use than this guy. In addition, there's lots of different parts on here to assemble to get right, and nooks and crannies to clean, which we'll be talking about in a second. With the Nama J2, you might have to cut some things kind of small. You load the hopper, you shut the lid, and literally you walk away and let the juicer do all the work. When I filled it up with like vegetables, I could get about 24 ounces of juice by filling it up with vegetables. And if I fill it up with fruits such as papaya or watermelon, for example, I could get about a quart of juice when I'm walking away and letting the machine work without me. And that's when Paul could take care of his maybe attend to his wife, and I could go out to my garden, harvest some more things, or cut up more produce to fill up the next time I'm going to fill it. All right, Paul, so what's reason number 2 why you love the NAMA J2 these days?
Well, part of the idea of easier to use, it's also easier to clean. So even though it doesn't take that much time to clean this, it's still less time to clean this. And so ultimately you're going to save time throughout the day. It's less parts. I haven't counted all the parts of this, but they are heavier, and there's some little areas you got to get into that's a little bit more difficult to get into with certain brush and everything else. This one you can clean pretty simple and quickly, and put together quickly as well. So it's not just easier to use, it's easier to clean and put together.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I would definitely concur with that. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I never really loved the cleaning process on the GreenStar Pro. There's lots of little nooks and crannies. When you're done juicing on the screen on this, it gets really impacted with pulp that literally they give you a scraper with the machine to scrape off the pulp out of the screen, and then you got to brush it really well. On the NAMA J2, there is more screen area to clean, but it's not ground in pulp in the screen. So yes, you should brush it off after every use. And there's technically more surface area with the NAMA J2 to clean with a hopper, but there's like less nooks and crannies. So overall, you know, it's a lot easier process to clean. This one may take me about 4 minutes if I'm like really working fast, and this one will definitely take me at least 8 minutes to clean it completely. So yeah, definitely agree with you on that one, Paul. So what is reason number 3 you love the NAMA J2?
Well, as I said, I have children, and I also get up early sometimes, and I make the juice earlier. It's just less quiet, or it's more quiet than this one. Not that this one's loud like many of the juices out there, but still, when it's quiet in the house early in the morning, it's still just less quiet. So that makes a big difference. So I like it that it's not as loud as even as GreenStar, which isn't tremendously loud either, but it's just nice that it's on the quiet side.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I do sound testing in my videos where you could see the sound testing. I will say that the NAMA J2 is not always the quietest. I have other, even more quiet juicers than the NAMA J2, such as the Santa 727, if having the quietest juicer in the world is most important to you. That being said, the NAMA is on the lower end of the range. And definitely with the GreenStar Pro, I mean, it does run at a higher RPM. It also has the 2 metal gears that you may hear kind of, you know, meshing together as it's running. So yes, it is louder, but still it is quite quiet compared to those high-speed machines. So Paul, what's the next reason why you love the NAMA J2?
Well, time is important to me, as I spoke about, and it's faster. It's not that it's a high-speed juicer. It's not. It's a slow juicer, but it's still faster than this juicer. The overall process is faster, and yeah, so time is of essence. So that's why I like that.
Cool. Yeah. So when Paul says faster, what I know he means, because I've used both these machines. You know, if you're just sitting there, you know, pushing in produce, technically because this is running at a higher RPM, depending on what you're juicing, you could crank it through the machine faster than this. So then you would say, Paul's wrong, but here's the thing, right? This is faster in the sense that, okay, you got the carrots in front of you, you got to push each one in the juicer. That takes you a lot of time because you're sitting there with the NAMA. You maybe cut a few cuts, put it in here, shut the lid, and then you walk away, right? And then you come back, you walk back, and then you have a glass of juice. So even though the overall juicing time is longer, right, the time that you're in front of the juicer is a lot less, because this, you're actively in front of the juicer. With this, you load it up, close the lid, and you walk away and let the machine work while you have free time to do other things in your life. So that is how it is faster. Not that it's going to be done juicing faster. It is that the time it takes you to juice, you're going to be done faster.
Now, I do have to say 2 things. Now, you do have to cut the stuff up smaller for that.
Depends on what it is.
It takes a little
takes some time.
But,
yes.
You know, you got to go for lifestyle. I mean, before I was married, I would have no problem using this. But now my lifestyle, you know, dictates my time being more better used somewhere else. So this definitely makes a tremendous difference in terms of being fast or not fast. There are people like yourself that are married and you're single, but you got your business and everything else. So this is going to be the time-consuming wise and everything else. So you definitely, but not knocking this, but this overall is going to meet most people's needs.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing that by the sales numbers, Paul. I mean, I sell both these machines. The NAMA J2 outsells the GreenStar like 20-1 because people also want the convenience and the time saving. I mean, we have fast food these days, and, you know, fast food is not healthy food, guys. I mean, you guys know that, but so many people support fast food because it is fast, quick, and easy, right? That's what Nama tried to do when they created the J2. They tried to take juicing, not as easy as fast food, of course, but closer to getting to fast food so that you could have it literally a juice with little input that made it a lot easier so that you could actually be compliant and start eating healthier because of it. And the numbers don't lie, Paul. Like, people are buying the Nama J2 so that they can start getting juicing too. And I'm happy about that because what we need is we need a lot more people in America eating healthier foods like fresh fruit and especially vegetables and leafy green juices. All right, Paul, so I think we're down to the last reason why you love the Nama J2 over the GreenStar Pro.
For me, this is the most important reason.
Really?
Is it's smaller. I mean, I'm a minimalist and I like seeing nothing on the counter. And this was always a big eyesore just to have something big out there. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have a bare kitchen with nothing out at all. But it's just smaller. It's a smaller appliance, which would be good ultimately if you're traveling. Would be good.
Or if you're in like a New York City apartment.
Yeah. If you don't have a lot of counter space, I love counter space. So, you know, the day I put this off my counter, it just opened up everything so much more.
Space.
And then when I put that there, it saved a lot more space. Like, wow, I got so much more space now. So the size to me is for me personally, is a really important factor. And, you know, it's just great. So that's another important reason.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I would definitely concur. I mean, you can look at these. I mean, this is like twice as long, like really long. We could fit a Nama here going vertical, another Nama here fitting vertical, 2 Namas in the place of one of these big things. So yeah, definitely counter space is important to many people. I also personally think that the Nama looks a bit more stylish than the GreenStar Pro, although, you know, actually nobody knows that the GreenStar company is coming out with a new improved model that actually looks a lot more stylish, but it still has the same technology on the inside and all the same parts as well. But yeah, the Nama takes less space, and I really just love the compact form factor and the look of it. You know, you have the white, Paul. It all comes in black if you're not good at wiping things down and keeping it clean. I really like the cleanness of the white. It really works well in your white kitchen. It just makes it look really nice and tight and clean. And I love that you can just like load up the produce in the hopper and shut the lid, turn it on. You get juice out this side and the pulp out this side. So many people online seem to be like, especially long-term juicers, are like moving towards the Nama J2, and that's what I get from my customers. I hear from my customers all the time, wow, John, thanks. The Nama J2 is amazing. It just made juicing a lot easier so I could be more compliant, you know, and okay, maybe it makes a little bit less juice, but I'm going to do it more often so you're going to get more health benefits. Maybe you got a wife that's not into juicing, right? The Nama J2 is the easiest juicer to use. So you could help her get into juicing because it's not going to be a pain with all these parts, with these nooks and crannies she's got to clean, right? Make it easier for your husband or wife or kids to juice as well, or even yourself. That's why I love the Nama J2. So Paul, any final comments or words of wisdom you'd like to share with other people that are considering buying the Nama J2 and getting into juicing for their health?
Well, it's worth the money. I don't want anyone to be concerned with, you know, it's too much money for a juicer, or how can you spend that much money on a juicer? This one is even more than that one, and I did it. I'm willing to make the investment for my health, but most people will still look to get a cheaper juicer at Walmart or something else. This juicer is definitely worth the money for all the reasons we mentioned. There's nothing that comes close to it in terms of ease of use and time, and it's going to help keep you juicing on a more consistent basis, and that's ultimately what's important. Because if you get one of those cheaper juices, you might do it for a while, but eventually you're going to get sick of it, or it's going to break because it's so cheap. But it's worth the extra money, because the cheap juice is about half the price, but
or even less.
Or even less, but there's a reason why it's that much cheaper. And so it's definitely worth the money. I want to help people get this juicer. So Nama has given me a coupon code to share, and I'm going to put that at the link in the description below. Just click on that link or put that coupon code in so you can get 10% off this juicer. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's available now. So if you're watching this video, you want to invest in this, put that coupon code in or when you go to the site, the link below, to order it, and you'll get 10% off. So I'm really thankful that Nama has helped me do that, to help and make it easier for people to get that juicer. And I really like that they're not trying to compete with other people and everyone else. They're just offering this because their goal is to get the juicer in people's hands and people using them. And even though it's expensive, with the technology and everything else, they did what they could for the least amount possible. So it might not seem it because of the cost of juice, but it really is true. And now they're even making it easier and cheaper for you, the consumer, to get it. And they've been so gracious to offer me this coupon code for you. So take advantage of this. It's 10% off, and it makes a big difference. So the code below. I definitely recommend this, and it'll pay off in the investment in your health bills. And if you are looking to get on a better diet, juicing is a great way to do it. So definitely get the Nama.
So the final thing I'd like to say in this video is that if you think still that the NAMA is a lot of money, even with the 10% off coupon code, they have financing available through Affirm and other methods. So you could go on a payment program, and some have even 0 interest. So you could just make time payments, pay that NAMA off, so you can start juicing today and have the benefits of fresh juice in your life. I want to thank you, Paul, for being in my video, to sharing your update about your favorite juicer, which is now the NAMA J2 instead of the GreenStar Pro.
Oh, it's been a long time. Me and this juicer have a really strong connection, this GreenStar Juicer. But now it's going to be replaced by this other juicer. I'm going to travel with this juicer. I'm going to just do so much in this juicer. And I don't know if I'm ready to completely let go of my GreenStar Juicer yet. Not that I'm going to be using it, just sentimental value, because I've been using it for so long. But I got to tell you and be honest with you, I've been using this NAMA juicer, and I just have been finding it so much more convenient to use. And like I said in the interview with John, I'm a minimalist, and I love seeing this on my counter versus this big thing. But again, remember that coupon code is below. If you want to get this, it's a 10% off. Use that coupon code. And also the links below to order this. If you have any comments or questions, post them below the video. Thank you, John, for all you're doing for the juicing community and just helping people make the right decisions about the different juices out there. And to the NAMA company, thank you for coming out with this juicer and continue to try to make it easy for people to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm so thankful for you, your company, and everything you're doing. And thank you all to my viewers for watching. And I'm going to be making more videos about this, because this is something that's become part of my life that I do on a daily basis, and I highly recommend you do as well. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great juicing raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life.